Chip Wilson has a $1.7 billion stake. Call me crazy. I think that Elliott and Chip Wilson are definitely combining their powers to affect change. They own combined more than 10% of the company, which is pretty significant. But this is really the key here. So they want a Ralph Lauren executive, Jane Nielsen, to be the new CEO. Now, I'm pretty sure that they pushed for a board seat, and let's just walk through this. They've built a stake of over $1 billion in Lululemon, bringing a potential CEO candidate to help turn the company around. The stake makes Elliott among the biggest investors in Lululemon, which has a market value of $25 billion. Tumultuous time. Calvin MacDonald's going to step down in January. I think the big thing that happened with Lululemon was they lowered guidance. The stock got hit. It's like, okay, no problem. Then they lowered guidance again. At that point, it's kind of like, okay, you don't know what's going on here. Who is actually steering this ship? So it says Elliott has been working closely with veteran retail executive Jane Nielsen, former CFO, COO at Ralph Lauren, who they see as a potential CEO candidate. So they're basically walking in here and they're saying, hey, not only did we build a huge stake, but we got the CEO for you guys.
That's a deal.
Now, this is very interesting because the founder, Chip Wilson, had been agitating and weighing in on the CEO search. So Wilson had been attacking Lululemon publicly. He took out a whole Wall Street Journal cover page advertisement, which is not cheap, to basically say, hey, these clowns got to figure this out. Now, what's interesting is Calvin MacDonald previously was an executive at Sephora. And this is another key thing. So steered the business through the pandemic, tripling its annual sales during his tenure to $10.6 billion. He's expected to give up his board seat, remain a senior advisor.
See ya.
See ya.
So that one's interesting right there because you're like, okay, he tripled the annual sales during his tenure. Now, right now, this is a growth stock that's trading like a value stock based on like every single metric available. So the idea is, how do they return it to its growth ways? And then how did this all happen?
Great question.
So really, these are two big competitors that have been taking market share, Vuori and Alo Yoga. There was also that controversy. I think it was like Costco had, the equivalent of like a Lululemon yoga pants.
Lululemon is suing Costco, accusing the retail giant of unlawfully trading on its reputation, goodwill, and sweat equity.
Now, they've raised eyebrows using Mickey Mouse, NFL logos, but this is really the problem. The problem is they've leaned heavily into discounting products, weighing on profits and the brand's image. So this is a high-class, quality brand,
Not cheap.
You're talking about over $100 to get a pair of these yoga pants, but this is the kiss of death for any retailer. Merchandise piled up, leaving the stores cluttered, and the stock has just gotten absolutely eviscerated. And this is just this year. So this is why I remember telling you guys at the end of the video, I mean, you're talking about 11 months ago, this thing was at 421. So this is basically cut in half to where it was less than a year ago. It bottomed out in like the 160 range, about there, and it's recovered nicely since then. But you have to believe that if Elliott is getting involved, they don't think this thing's worth like 220, 230, 240. They think this thing's probably worth 300-400, and that's why they're getting in, shaking things up, want to get the new CEO.
Money, money, money.
So companies trading at multiples below other retailers, including American Eagle and Victoria's Secret. In Nielsen, Elliott sees a retail pro that can help revitalize the Lulu brand. Elliott and Nielsen have been working together on evaluating this opportunity for months, which is very interesting.
I'm all ears.
So then Nielsen comes out and says Lululemon is one of the most powerful brands in retail, defined by exceptional products, deeply engaged communities, significant global potential. I would welcome the chance to discuss this opportunity with the Lululemon board. So basically like a de facto job interview.